Okay, and with that, we'll get started, right? All right, Nancy, you good? All right, welcome everybody. This is our day of action, get in good trouble. This program is dedicated to Congressman John Lewis, Black Lives Matter, criminal justice reform. But before we get started, I want to take 7 seconds, a moment of silence and 7 seconds for, the tragedy that is going on in our country. So if you don't mind, we'll take 7 seconds right now, please. Thank you. And that was for Jacob Blake. And we got to get his name out there, get his name said. Also, I want to say, again, another sorrow for a fellow Black man, Chad Boseman, who passed away, who's fighting something that, not a lot of people understood and knew what it was beforehand. They just, but we're happy to say his name and, and be thankful for the things that he did do for us. He was a good actor and I really appreciate his work. And, as far as I always, it'll never leave my head, man. It'll never leave my head. That's our handshake from this point forward and stuff. So, but we're gonna get started here. One of the things we wanted to do was just introduce a couple of people. One of the first people is a brother I just gotten to meet and stuff. His name is Divine. Divine, would you mind introducing yourself here, sir?
Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate it. My name is Divine Lipscomb. I am a formerly incarcerated scholar here at Penn State University. I am a special projects coordinator for the Restorative Justice Initiative and the incoming president for the Students Restorative Justice Initiative. And this is an exciting time, right? It's time for us to actually let our voices be heard, to come together and do what we are supposed to do in order to see democracy flourish. Our country has been in upheaval with all of these murders year after year after year. And for me, voting is particularly important, right? Because I know what it's like to have my vote stripped away from me. Being incarcerated at 18 and being told that I can't vote, and then coming home and being able to vote for the first Black president, right? Things are moving. I take my vote and I hold it really dear to me. And so when I look at what's going on and how I can get involved and how we can encourage people who experience incarceration and getting them out to voting polls or even going to them and making sure that they can vote is very impactful. One of the things that I do as a livelihood with the Restorative Justice Initiative is we promote higher education in prisons. And for me, that's an important mission. As I received my GED in a maximum security prison at the age of 19. And I've gone on to pursue my undergrad and hopefully law school in the next year or so. Why is this important? Education is transformative. And when we look at our educational systems, especially in urban areas and where our voter turnouts are extremely low, we don't see education being pushed and promoted, and we don't have our students thriving the way that they should. And so when I was 16 and 15, we didn't talk about the importance of a vote, right? When Bill Clinton and all of those other individuals were running for president, and our parents didn't talk to us about these things. And so when I get the opportunity to talk about how it felt to vote not once, but twice for Barack Obama, and then to turn around and lose the 2016 elections to Trump, and to watch him trample on our democracy, and to watch how my story, right? Because the justification around all of these killings of Black people is they're criminals, right? They villainize us no matter where we stand in life. And how do we have the leader of the free world promoting the same nonsense, right? That means I can get murdered and it's okay, despite the fact that I sit with a 3.1 GPA here at Penn State, despite the fact that I just won 2 awards from Penn State University. None of that means anything with the narratives that are being promoted here in the media. I just want to say, when you think about where you want our country to be in the next 5 to 10 years, and you think about the level of hatred and animosity that's being filtered through our social medias, through our systems, and you think about what part you played in making sure that we can eventually see a brighter light, and you think about whether or not you went to those voting polls and cast that vote, and if you don't, where would our children be? Where would our country be? What is your responsibility in this? Thank you. Rudy, you're muted.
You know, it's funny because, you know, there's always that moment in time when you do it to yourself. So I apologize for that, but thank you, sir. Hey, Terry Watson here. You willing to introduce yourself here, sir?
Absolutely. Can you hear me well? Excellent. So, my name is Terry Watson. I'm the founder of Strategies for Justice, and I want to take the time to thank the Centre County Democrat Committee for hosting the Centre County Day of Action, and especially for having a focus on Black Lives Matter movement and racial equality. So Strategies for Justice is an organization that focus on the topics of race, disability, gender, and law enforcement. So this call to action is really crucial to what we do and also very timely. And I'm also very much entwined with what Devon is saying as well. Actually, not so long ago, I came across this post on social media where it said that there is no black or white or Latino or Asian America. There's only America. And I think that America was always built on these ideals of being together. But the first thing that we need to do is to challenge America to start acting like America. And the first way we can start doing that is actually by following our Constitution. As America, if you see injustice, you should be able to exercise your First Amendment rights. And no government, either directly or indirectly, should either establish any kind of barriers to stop people from peacefully protesting and petitioning their government for its grievances. For America to start acting like America, we should be willing to, as John Lewis say, get into good trouble, especially when we see injustices taking place. We should be outraged in 2020 that we're still having the same conversation about jobs and freedom. We're still seeing the same barriers put up in front of us. And we're still fighting that same fight that we did 57 plus years ago. So our right to vote is so important. It shouldn't be a partisan issue. It shouldn't be something that it should be something that all Americans should be striving for, and respecting our 15th Amendment and every other voting act that follow after that, and people should really should have that right to vote. And as John Lewis put it, it is voting is the most nonviolent instrumental tool that we have in a democratic society. So the movement that fighting racial injustice and looking at movements like Black Lives Matter is really important to the identity of America. One thing that I will also add to this too is when we look at what Strategy for Justice do, we look at how do we engage the political system to actually have some true criminal justice reform. One of the things that I've been very active in over the past 4 or 5 months is trying to pass carrier's law. And what carrier's law if is a call to mandate a duty to intervene. So if you look at the case like George Floyd, where you had an officer kneeling on his neck, that was really bad. But it was just as bad. It was that there were 3 other officers that were standing by watching it happen. And so in the carrier's law, they will be mandated to stop that from happening. It also will protect police officers who actually do step up and stop that from happening, and it will protect them from retaliation, from being fired. In the case of Carrier Horn, when she stopped the choking of Neil Mack, she was punched in the face by her partner. And so when we hear these stories, we need to say, okay, America, what is it that we're asking for? We're asking for justice. We're not asking for anything special, just asking for the same rights, the same ability to succeed as anyone else in America. So I think the one way to do that is to vote, and to make sure that your vote counts, and not just vote every 4 years, but also vote in your local elections as well. Make sure that you're constantly engaged in your local community. Make sure you're constantly engaged in your local politics. That's the way you start to make change. So again, I'm very happy to be part of this conversation, and thank you for having me. And I think you're still muted.
Saying thank you again and stuff, so I'm glad I didn't go further and stuff. I, I really do appreciate your words, man, and both you and Divine. And stuff. I'm an older guy that's, been out of the loophole of the young people and being around, but, I'm energized by watching what I see nowadays, man. I mean, this is again a moment in life and a moment in time where, we can finally speak up. And I would tell you all, I'm an old dude, man. I've been voting, for a long time. And I will tell you early on, I wrote my own name in because I didn't believe in anybody else. But if my vote's going to count, it's going to count for myself. And I did that as a younger kid. But then I got with, the parties and understood what I was supposed to be doing and stuff. But, I've been around a long time. And as far as the injustice and the things that are happening, it's been happening a long time, man. And, and nowadays I have to look at myself and say, am I just lucky to not have that happen to me? Right. So I appreciate what you all are doing. I really do. I think it's paramount that we continue, but please, let's stay focused on this. Let's not lose the momentum all of a sudden, if we got to get out and vote, but even after we vote, we still got to stay vibrant and get this done for ourselves.
Exactly.
And there are times when we falter and we disappear. There are a lot of things happening out there that take away and try to sideline us. Stay focused, y'all. Right? That's the best thing I can say to us at this point in time. The advice I can give is stay focused. But yes, let's get out and vote, man. We always got to use your power. That is your power. That is your platform right now that you can use. Use your voice there. Get out and vote and get the young people out there. Again, we can do this. I do believe it's time and change. Again, when I was growing up, to see a Black president was one of the highlights. That would have been like the top of it all. We can never be president. You can never be a Black president. And then you see that, look, there's more we can do. So please, let's get in that good trouble, right? Nanci, I'd like to introduce Nanci. Nanci, please come on and speak, please.
Hi, I'm Nanci, and I was a delegate for Joe Biden for Congressional District 12, virtual, but we got to go to a lot of meetings and see a lot of things. And again, everybody's vote counts. And I want to thank Terry and Divine for being here, and Rudy and everyone else who's joined us. So thanks, everybody. So you want me to do my reading at the end, right? Yeah, okay.
You can do it right now if you like, dear, and I'll just go into the rest.
Okay, all right. I have probably my favorite book, Just Mercy. I teach GED at the Centre County Correctional Facility, And I use this book, I encourage my students to read it, and I use this book all the time with them. But I think my favorite paragraph in the book is this. I frequently had difficult conversations with clients who were struggling and despairing over their situations, over things that they had done or things that had been done to them that had led to painful moments. Whenever things got really bad and they were questioning the value of their lives, I would remind them that each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. I told them if someone tells a lie, that person is not just a liar. If you take something that doesn't belong to you, you are not just a thief. Even if you kill someone, you're not just a killer. And to me, I just read that over and over and over, and I talk about it over and over because it just really hits home. It's true. And then a favorite quote of mine is actually by Howard Buffett. Doing good does not excuse us from doing better. And I have that quote on every bulletin board and wall where I work. So it doesn't. So we have to get out there and vote and do this year. So thanks again, everybody, for coming.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. At this point, we'd like to take any questions. Anybody have any questions, any comments they want to make? It'd be a pleasure to hear some of your voices out there. Anybody? You can just unmute yourself and you can ask your question or make your comment. All right. One of the things we wanted to get back out is the word about the volunteer stations up at the atrium today.
There is a question in the chat box.
I'm sorry. Can we find out so we can canvas? Where are you going to canvas at? Nance?
All right. Yeah, we can find out where the areas are, and we can set you that are low turnout or voters who haven't decided, and we can get you walk lists. We're actually not going to canvass in person this year, but we're going to do door knockers, and we can register to vote. Rudy's going to talk about that in a little bit. Register to vote and the vote by mail. He's going to talk about the challenge a little bit later at the end of this, but we can definitely get you out with a walk list and that type of thing, or a phone list, text list. Rudy's going to talk about some of the different stations that'll help out to address that too.
Yes, and from Leslie's phone, what areas of State College and PA overall have low voter turnout? Nance, would you have the answer to that question?
No, but I will find out. I will find out and make sure that I get that on the email. I don't know, unless Greg is on this and he can address.
Greg or Ava, anybody that can answer that question possibly? Leslie, we'll get that answer to you at some point. I'm pretty sure. Seeing how we're recording this, we have the question in the chat. If you don't mind putting in your email address, or if we don't have it that way, we can have it. You can throw that in the chat and we can get that that reply to you. Again, today there'll be volunteer stations up at the atrium. A list of the stations are, here we go. Welcome back, number one, welcome back. You can sign, swag, they'll be selling t-shirts and things of that nature up at the atrium. Number two, there will be a 320 information station. You know, local associations affiliated with Black Lives Matter within the community will be there, some representatives there. Number three, there'll be a community service project. We're doing donations to Howard Area Food Pantry. There'll be information on the tables up there about that. There'll be a lit drops. We'll have some local candidates, local state candidates there. We'll have representatives from Peter Buck, Lee Griffin, and Joe Waltz. We also have some letter writing, petition letters. There'll be a table up there with that, and postcard packets. There'll be another table, the vote by mail. Folks, you got to get it in early. If you're going to do it, do it. But, you know, once you receive it, get it right back into the mail. If anything, I trust the mail service around here. I don't know why, but maybe because of the last 25 years of living here, I trust the mail service here. I think they'll do the right thing. So, but if you're going to do it, please get your mail ballots back in. Don't hold on to them. Fill it out right then. I think your mind's made up at this point. I think everybody's mind made up. You know what you need to do. You know, just do it when you get the chance. Another one of the tables are postcard packets where, you know, you can be able to send out postcards to folks. There'll be a resource table with some books, some documentaries, some movies, some links to podcasts, things of that nature there. Again, there will be we're holding a virtual phone bank. And I think there'll be more information given out, Nancy, through an email, I believe, about at the table. She'll have
there will be tables with clipboards for how to get set up with the text and the phone banks. And there'll be a volunteer at each of the tables explaining how to get involved. There's a lot going on. We'll be open from 1:30 to 4. And if I could, Rudy, just hop in here too. There's a lot of initiatives for the mail-in ballots as to the ballot should be out on or about October 1st, the end of September, October 1st. But there's going to be ballot boxes at the election office and hopefully satellite offices around Centre County that you'll take your, that are secured. Right now they're locked, they're not open, but they will be secured. And if you, for some reason you don't feel comfortable with the mail, you will be able to drop off your ballot and up to and including election day too.
Thank you, Ned. There's a last one is a voter registration challenge. So folks, what we want to do is, we want to challenge you to 7 days, 7 voters. You get to sign up. That would be our challenge for, for this election. Nancy, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, there will be clipboards with 7 registration forms on it. We can always add more. The clipboards are all set up in the atrium with pens with them. And so we welcome you to come down and get involved. I do want to say too that our we have postcard packets that you talked about, Rudy. They have the postcards in them, the addresses, pen, all the directions. And on the postcard this week is a quote, since this day is to honor John Lewis. Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful nonviolent tool we have to create a more perfect union. So just put it up. These are in everybody's packets, and they encourage people to register to vote. And also, if they have any questions, there's a website and a phone number on those cards too.
Awesome. Again, anybody have any comments they want to get? We are coming out to our time here, ending up out there here. I want to thank Divine and Mr. Terry over here, Mr. Watson. I'd like to thank you all for being here, and most importantly, Greg Stewart, who set this all up. Ava, thank you all both. And Nancy, I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for that. Anybody have any last willing comments they want to make, sir? Divine, Lipscomb?
Yes. Please, if you know anyone who has encountered the carceral system, and if they're not sure if they're eligible to vote, please send them my way and we can have the conversation. Corrective Gentlemen at gmail.com will be willing to assist. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you put that in the chat box? Thank you so much, Rudy and Terry and Divine and everybody else who is here too.
I think Brother Dumas want to say something, actually.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to us, brothers and sisters, that, please be careful. none of us have ever been through this kind of situation before. This is not a, I mean, I've been through voter registration campaigns since all the way back in 1964. This is not a typical voter registration situation. This is going to be like, unlike anything that we've ever seen, I can tell you that, but it's also going to be dangerous. Is already in the situation where people, not only are the police out killing brothers and sisters, but we also have other people out there with guns killing people. And we are not in New York, and we're not in the south side of Chicago. We are in central Pennsylvania. Just really be vigilant, be careful, get everyone's back, and don't give up the struggle. I mean, don't quit, but just at the same time, just be careful and be prayerful and be joyful and work in teams when you can. That's all I want to say.
Rudy, somebody had a question in the chat to re-announce the location where we'll pick up today. It's going to be in the Allen Way building. It's 315 Allen Street, and it's going to be right in the atrium. The doors are opened, and you can come anytime between now and 4 o'clock and just pick up your things. And if you...
Wait.
All right. Was I muted for that whole thing?
No, not for the
No,
whole
okay.
thing.
Okay. So if you can't make it in today, we do have office hours down here. We'll be open tomorrow from 11 to 7 and Wednesday from 11 to 3. And then we're usually here Saturdays, 11 to 3, Fridays. So we're gonna get a pretty firm schedule up to be available to everybody to pick up these things. And if you're not comfortable coming into the office or into the atrium, we do deliveries. We can deliver. If you just let us know, we can deliver your packets to you. And we're going to try in the next couple of weeks to have some satellite offices in your satellite offices on some of your neighbors in your areas. So we can make this happen for you to either pick up or get your things to you.
Great. Again, thank everybody for being here today. We really appreciate you taking the time to sit and listen. Divine, Terry, I really appreciate listening to your words. Brother Dumas, it's good to see your face. You know, I've heard things and seen you in the neighborhoods and stuff, so it's good to see you. Again, everybody, thank you. We appreciate it. Have a good day now.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon. Thanks, Rudy.
No problem. No worries.